Today on the 5-Minute Book Review, we take a look at Douglas Coupland's Girlfriend in a Coma. First published in 1998, the book begins when Karen dreams of the end of the world and gives her boyfriend a note, then falls into a coma during a house party. The book then follows her friends, a group of aimless cookie-cutter Gen Xers throughout the years as they struggle to find meaning in their boring lives. Not quite as bleak as it sounds. Coin toss to start, and Curtis is the winner. Today on the 5-Minute Book Review starring Curtis and Ian, we take a look at Douglas Coupland's Girlfriend in a Coma. Now, not too long ago, Ian suggested I read Hey Nostradamus by Douglas Coupland. That was my first taste of Coupland. This was my second. He claims this wasn't as good as Hey Nostradamus, and I would have to agree with him. This book was highly recommended to me by one of my best friends, who I can count being wrong on none hands. And she claimed this was, I believe, her favorite book of all time, or one of her favorite books. And it's good. I'm not going to say it's not good. It's very busy, though. And my heart broke a bunch of times reading this, because there's so many times where I was like, oh, should have went here with this, but then that wouldn't have worked. Then, oh, maybe you should have went here with this, and that wouldn't have worked. And I could feel his frustration, because it was almost there. It was so close to being there, but it's really convoluted. And once again, he's up to his old tricks. He's dropping Vancouver and Vancouver things every page. And buddy, I don't know anything about Vancouver. It's really distracting. Ian?
That's fair enough. I think a lot of people who don't have the experience level with Vancouver that Coupland has, it can be a little distracting to them. But at the same time, kind of look at it as an educational thing about Vancouver. You might have learned a lot about it that you didn't know before, although maybe it's stuff Vancouver doesn't want you to know about it sometimes when it comes to Coupland. This book is busy. There's a lot going on in it. At the same time, I didn't have the same problems with the story. I didn't feel like he made bad choices as I was reading it. When he was writing, like in his writing, I didn't feel like there were bad choices. I felt like it's a solid book all the way through. And I can understand how somebody would think it was one of their favorite ones that would feel really good about it, but at the same time, I do like Hey Nostradamus better. I think Hey Nostradamus is a more complete book than this. There are moments when I'm reading this where I'm kind of thinking, well, I would have liked to know a bit more about this or another storyline. I think there's other storylines I think need to be a little bit more expanded upon, but at the same time, I felt like I had a complete read. I felt like I had a solid read, and it is, well, I may not think it's his best book, it's definitely in the top 5, considering we're talking about a man who's basically averaged a book a year since 1990.
That is very fair, but you know what? If I wanted to learn about Vancouver, I'd go read Travel Vancouver. I want to read some fiction. I figured out, though, what the only flaw of this book, what makes it, to me, not better than Hey Nostradamus, is the bad dialogue between characters. These are some heavy situations here. This is end-of-the-world stuff, and the characters are so shallow, and the way they relate to each other, you know, they're like, exactamundo. No, you would not talk like that. I don't care how shallow you are. You would not talk like that, Ian.
I don't know. I mean, I definitely can see what you're saying, but at the same time, I feel like the way the characters were shallow played into everything that was going on. I mean, it's part and parcel of the same story. I mean, I can definitely understand why you wouldn't accept it, why it would harm your feelings about the book, but at the same time, I think it's something that a new reader could easily accept as part of the book. As far as being an introduction to the work of Douglas Coupland, if it's one of the first or second books you're reading for it, it's still a solid read, though. That and Hey Nostradamus, I'm telling you.
I wonder how much was edited by the editor, because I think to do this justice, I think it probably would have had to been double the size of this book, which never would have flown. There was just so much jumping from character trait to character trait that to me didn't match. It was like, what? All of a sudden this guy has got a gun? Where did that come from? How did we go from here to there?
I can see
that. And it must have been really edited. And again, I felt his frustration. I really think he must have been frustrated, because there's not enough time or pages to do with this book what I think he wanted to do. What was his obsession with down jackets?
I don't know.
He used the term down jacket about every 4 pages. You know, I don't know. Maybe I don't know Vancouver. Maybe that's actually how they talk to each other in North Van when they're standing on the corner of Burnaby and Fairfax or whatever. Maybe they are that shallow. But to me, I was just like, they would not talk to each other this way. There's no way, Ian.
No, that's fair enough. The dialogue can get a little trying at times, but at the same time, still got to enjoy the book, though.
Absolutely, 100% read. Thanks, Danielle. Good recommendation.